Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back, and we are back and getting into Love Island All Stars episode 3. I am going to try and do my reactions now straight after I've watched the episodes. I don't usually watch it at 9 o'clock. I watch it an hour later because then I can watch it without any of the adverts and I can get my reactions done then, and hopefully be able to record it, at least record it straight after I've reacted to it, so you can get my full and utter reaction to what I've watched, basically, because you are getting my reaction at the moment to what I've watched, but I like to break things down too at the same time, so that's why I'm a little bit different in that sense. But anyway, before we get into Love Island All Stars episode 3, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so when you know I'm on and doing videos, and let's just get straight into this episode, shall we? So we've gone back. It's a nighttime shenanigans with everybody. Everybody is starting to get to know everybody. So Chris quickly pulls Molly for a chat, basically. You can see Callum is not liking this. He's giving the girl her space, but I'm like, when is too much space, if you get my meaning. I mean, he's giving her a wide berth to do what she wants, but not many women like that. They like to know that if you're interested in them and you're wanting to get back with this girl, you need to let her know this, have these conversations with her, because right now she's just freewheeling and doing what the fuck she wants to do at the end of the day. So basically you see Mitch as well having a conversation with Georgia H and telling Georgia H that he knew about her before, like, he came into the island, and that he really wanted to connect with her. Peep with freaking Mitch, because he says the same rotted thing to Demi too in this night. Says the same, and I'm like, here we go with your games. Here we go with your messiness. And then he's gonna full on retract his motherfucking statement, yeah, when he gets called out on it. But we'll see if that ever happens to him. So you see Chris and Molly having this chat. I think they went up to the terrace, or it might not have been this one, it might have been later on, but they went up to the terrace. They're having their chat, and he's talking about like the freeway kiss that they had. And throughout that conversation, I'm just like, Molly, the man's giving you signs. He wants a kiss. He wants an actual kiss from you. He's giving you that sign for you to be able to then jump on that sign and move forward. He's waiting for you rather than him pressing in that sense. But in a roundabout way, yes, Chris was definitely angling for a kiss from Molly at the end of the day. So then you see Georgia S and Anton having a chat, because at the end of the day, the lads were telling Anton, you need to move on from her, you need to steer clear until she sorts out her stuff with Toby at the end of the day, because it's going to get messy, which it is. And he agreed with them. He says, yeah, maybe I need to start chatting to other people. But again, Anton gravitates back to Georgia S and starts having his conversation with her. And I'm just thinking, why are you begging her though? Why are you begging her though? At the end of the day, you need to walk away from Georgia S, because Georgia S is telling you in your face, yeah, that she's going to chat to Toby, that there's this lot of history with Toby and this, that and the other. And she says, fair enough, I'm glad you've told me what you told me, because then I can adjust how I'm behaving with you. You need to step from when she said that, Anton, you need to step away. You need to clear out the way. Clear out the way there. Clear out the way. So then it goes to Lewis and Demi. And basically, Demi's telling Lewis that she believes that he likes her, Georgia S, maybe Molly and Kaz. And he was like, yeah. He wasn't too excited about like Kaz in that sense. But he definitely agreed with her that he did like Molly. He does like Molly, but he is vibing definitely with her. And he literally told her point blank that he's vibing with her, to be fair. And Lewis don't say much, but his face kind of does say it all for him. But when he does say things, He can be quite direct in that sense. And as I said, he ain't feeling it with Kaz. And this is why he needs to be direct with Kaz, because he ain't being direct with her. He knows that Kaz likes him. And he knows Kaz ain't shy in coming forward and will pull him for a chat. And he was bamboozled, like proper bamboozled. As Sheldon would say, he got bazingered by that kiss. Proper bazingered by that kiss from Kaz. And now he's got to have to deal with the kind of consequences and repercussions from that. So Libby and Kaz are having this chat, and basically Libby is overthinking things with Mitch. Kaz is telling her to calm down, don't overthink things. And I'm like, why do you go into this villa and do this? They do it all the time where they overthink. But I think, you know what, they ain't got nothing but them people that they're residing with, and then their own thoughts at the end of the day of how they're perceiving things to be. My thing is it just go speak to the person. Go speak to the person. You don't have to put it all out there with them, but go speak to the person. But for Libby, I would be cautious of Mitch. That is all I'm going to say. I would be cautious in terms of jumping in deep with that man right now. Georgia S is kind of doing my head in. She's doing my head in. It's when they were getting ready for bed and she was saying to Toby about, she went straight to a negative in terms of imagine if it comes to the point that we're not sharing a bed with each other. And Toby literally had to say to her, why do you have to always jump straight to a negative? And this is what I mean. Toby is not going to feed into what you're wanting. You're putting the feels out there, but Toby is not catching them and keeping them, because Toby is remaining open to whatever else happens within that villa, especially if someone else comes in. You may be stuck on your own like you was previously, and I would be cautious. I would be guarding myself completely. I ain't gonna jump all the way in with this man. Yes, we may have history with each other. We don't want to jump in like that. Nah. No. So in the morning, you see Jake decides to have a meditation session with Georgia H, which he does really like. And Libby's again talking about Mitch and saying how like he's keeping her on her toes. But I'm just like, Libby, just do you, my girl. So then you see Toby talking. I can't remember who he's talking to, but he's basically saying that you do kind of wonder if you don't give it a go, what would happen? Or if you do give it a go, is it going to be a thing? So you're erring on the side of caution all the time. And this is what I mean. He is not closed off with Georgia S, but I think Georgia S is definitely closing herself off to him because she wants him. But I don't think Toby right now wants the same thing, because he doesn't know how it's going to play out. And that's why he won't commit to anything right now. So this is why I'm saying Georgia S needs to stop jumping all her eggs in one basket with Toby, because that's exactly what she's doing. And I think kind of that was probably the mistake she made in her season 2. So you see Demi and Mitch having a chat as well, and I swear to God, Mitch has no motherfucking chill. That man has no chill. I mean, first, that's twice now this man's talking about marriage. Yeah, because he spoke about marriage to Libby, speaking about marriage to Debbie, and he went as far as to talk about kids. I mean, even in joke, not all that, because you don't know what type of person you could be dealing with. You don't know what type of person you could be dealing with. I mean, you could have a girl like Abby, for instance, where you're saying all that stuff to her. Yeah, you may be saying it in joke, as you say, but she's taking that on board as if to say, well, I need to really focus on you and do what I need to do with you. And this is Mitch. This is Mitch. He doesn't think before he speaks and actually wonders how his sarcasm or his little inside jokes is going to land, because he's got banter. I'll give the lad that. He's got banter. But sometimes his banter can come off crossways and he needs to fix it, because Mitch is not a direct person. He really is not a direct person. He likes to beat around the bush, have a little bit of a lie, then beat around the bush some more until he's actually called out on it or it's seen on camera. That's the type of person Mitch is. So then you see Georgia H, yeah. having a chat with Toby, Georgia H is nosing rotted. She nosy. She couldn't stop trying to dig in Toby's business, even when you could see he was not giving her nothing. Like when he said that him and Chloe broke up because the trust was broken, and Georgia H was trying, picking in different ways to find out what had happened, what had occurred. Toby weren't telling her shit, and I was like, by that stage, my girl, you need to drink your water and mind your business. Like, seriously, drink your water and mind your business. Why are you in her so much? Why was she in her so much? Like, really, well and truly. So then you go to Chris, and he decides to give Molly a massage. Yes, he did. He did that. And I was like, yeah, Callum's acting cool, but he not like it. And he even told the group that it felt a bit weird because he did not like that in the slightest. And I'm like, yeah, the boys can fancy her, but as soon as they put hands on her, it becomes a different story, because Callum was feeling that. And this is why I say, Callum, you need to open your rotted mouth and tell this girl how you feel. Otherwise, just shut your mouth and let her do what she's doing. Let her meet somebody else if she's dying to meet somebody else within that island. I mean, he needs to make up his mind on what he's going to be doing. And then you see Georgia H chirping in his ear, telling him about, don't let Chris in on your bird like that. You need to take a stance. You need to tell her how you're feeling. And Callum's like, yeah. And I'm thinking, this man is so laid back, he's going to be horizontal. Like, seriously, he really doesn't want to fight for this girl. And sometimes all women want is someone to fight for them and say, you know what, you're mine. That's it. You're mine. But he ain't doing none of that, or even going as far as to at least having a private conversation with her to seriously talk about why he picked her, what happened within their breakup, how can it be rectified if they're going to get back together. And if they are going to get back together, do you know what I mean? They need to have those conversations, because they're in this place that don't allow for you to literally slip up in the slightest. So then you see Libby get a little bit irate because Demi and Mitch are talking again, and they're really getting on with each other. So you see Libby and Kaz go off to a private place, and she's like bugging out because she doesn't want to see that in her face. She knows that he's going to talk to people, but it's a little bit hard. And this is why I said that Libby is starting to invest herself a little bit too much in Mitch. A little bit too much in Mitch. I mean, it's only been 3 days, my girl. It's been 3 days. You need to wind your neck in. Yeah, wind your neck in and literally start talking to other people and getting to know other people as well. Even if you don't like the people in per se, get to know them as friends. But don't hang on this man's every sudden word, because you're going to end up hurt. And it's already starting, because he's already saying that he likes Demi. That if he really wants someone, as he said to Toby, the person that who's really on his mind is Demi over Libby at the end of the day. So it's going to get messy. It is going to get messy. But what Mitch needs to do is stop playing with these girls' heads. Like, be straight and direct. I think it would be better within there if everybody was straight and direct, because people are too messy and people are too inner at the end of the day. So we get to the night time. Everybody ready? And Jake calls everybody to the fire pit, basically. So Jake has decided that he is going to leave the island. He's going to leave the villa tonight, because he's basically saying that he's not had a connection with nobody. And you know what? It takes a bigger person to stand up and say that, and say, you know what, enough's enough. I don't really need to be here. I don't really want to meet anybody here. And the people that are here, I don't see anything happening with, to be fair, other than friendship. So I'm going to cut my losses and just go. So, you know, he was actually there to find something, but he didn't. At first I was like, is it really his true decision, or are they going to do a twist? Are they going to do something? But they don't. But then Libby made it about herself, and I'm like, don't make it about you, my love, because at the end of the day, you and Jake had your chat. You and Jake pieced things out with each other. You were both cool. You know you weren't going to restart or rekindle anything with each other. It's been 3 fucking years. Do you know what I mean? He decided that he wants to go and try and find somebody for him on the outside, rather than in some pre-made experiment at the end of the day, because that's what it is. It's a pre-made experiment. So Libby has her chat with Jake, and she starts crying, and I'm like, this Why are you crying for? Why are you crying for? Why you he made his decision, he's sticking by it, he's going. Okay, there's no need for you to get upset, there's no need for you to cry. At the end of the day, Jake is going to be good. So then Jake has his leaving interview with Maya. Nothing really to write home about that, to be fair. He just goes into the reasons why he made the choices that he made and hopes to find somebody outside of the experiment for him. So then it goes back to all of them in the villa. So everybody's having their chats, everybody's like, you know, integrating with everyone. So you see Callum, Molly, Toby and Georgia S sitting. Well, Callum is standing, the other three are sitting. And out of the blue, Callum just, boom, do you still fancy me? Molly starts laughing at him. And I'm like, bruh. Molly just, and I'm like, bruh. You're just laughing in the man's face. And he's like, no, I'm being serious. And my girl laughed in this man's face after he says, do you fancy me? There was no build-up though. There was no build-up. Callum did that all wrong. There was no fucking build-up at the end of the day. So basically, you could tell that Molly was angry at him. This is where the anger and the frustration with Molly came out, because she was holding nothing back. And she was basically telling Callum as it is, along with telling the other people around her how it is. And then I kind of thought that these two should have this conversation on their own. Do you know what I mean? Because too many cooks spoil the broth at the end of the day. But I think it was more comfortable for them to do it this way in the public arena, so that they could get their feelings out in that sense. And the whole chat, all I have to say is the whole chat made Callum look like a dickhead. Made Callum look like a full-on... He was getting boxed in that conversation. Proper boxed out in that conversation. I felt kind of sorry for him, having to have all of that not only on display to your fellow islanders, but to everybody else that is watching. You stand there like a gormless norm, like I was like, ooh, I felt bad for him. I felt embarrassed for him, not necessarily, but I felt embarrassed for him, because I was kind of like, yeah, you should have opened that conversation up when you and Molly were on your own, my guy, like seriously on your own, my guy. So you see Chris come out looking for Molly. He goes over and kind of partway hears the conversation, and Molly shouts out the reasons why he dumped her was basically that he told her to focus on her, he wanted to focus on the career, and if he didn't really see a future with her because he wanted to focus on his career. So Callum was denying it, saying that's not what I said. And she goes, are you sure? And even Chris was like, whoa, and walked off. I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna end well for them two. This is not going to end well for them two. And Callum was basically saying that his reasons were they weren't getting anywhere with each other and they were going round in circles. And I'm like, yeah, just like you're going round in circles now, my friend. Just like you're going round in circles now. Because Molly didn't come to play. Molly did not come to play with you. As soon as there was an opening, Molly went for it. Because she was like, yeah, now you're going to know. Now you're going to know how I feel. Now you're going to have to take seed and listen to how I feel in regards to the shit that went down between me and you and why the fuck you dumped me. I was like, backside. Ooh, I was not expecting that at all. So then the conversation kind of ended because Callum had no bone in this fight. Like seriously had no bone in this fight. So he sat his ass down, and he was just going on and on and on. Because I think Chris grabbed Molly for a chat, and then he was then going on and laughing and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're just doing all of that to save face. You're doing that to save face, but we could tell you was upset, my love. We could tell you was upset, my love. So they asked Callum how he felt about Chris taking the girl Molly up to the terrace, and he was like, it is what it is. And I said, and this is your problem. This is your problem, Callum. You're too fucking laid back with this shit. You want to literally be with this girl again, yeah? You want to talk your issues out, and you're not doing fuck all. You're just letting it fly by. And that's why Chris and Toby was saying, or was it Chris and Lewis? Chris and Lewis had the conversation and was saying, this is why you're going to end up losing this girl. Because you're being an absolute dickhead. Like, absolute dickhead. So, as it is, you know, Chris and Molly went on the terrace and they had their little chat. And Molly was basically saying to Chris that until a girl comes in, she is not going to know Callum's true intentions. That's it. And he's not being tested in regards to his true intentions. So until another girl comes in, if Callum decides to make a play for it, she is not going to necessarily know what his true intentions are towards her. So my question would be, is okay if a girl does come in then, because Chris is making a play for you at the end of the day. Chris is making that play for you. So if a girl does come in and Callum does not seek her attention in any way, shape or form because he really wants to sort things out with you, what will you do then? What will Molly do then? Because the way in which she said that to Chris, this is why Chris needs to be a little bit careful, is if a girl comes in and he makes no play for her, then she's going to give Callum the time of day. Do you know what I mean? She's going to listen to him and his explanations and feel that, yes, he truly does want me in that sense because he didn't make a play for the girl that came in. And then Chris is going to be fucked off. So Chris needs to be careful. So even when they were talking, it's like Chris angled for that kiss because he did the whole exercise where you stare deep into each other's eyes and, like, you know, do the connection to make you fall in love. So she was like, so do you want to fall in love with me then? But he didn't say anything. So he says, come on. She was laughing, like she found it funny, but Chris was actually being a little bit serious because you knew he was going to go and kiss her, and he did. He was going to go and kiss her. And I'm just like, well, it's going to get messy from here on out. It is definitely going to get messy from here on out. And then on the next episode, we see Josh coming back from series 1, and we'll see how that pans out, because they might call him the bombshell, won't they? They usually call them the bombshells when they start leaking the others in and out of the place now. So anyway, that is where I'm going to end this episode. As again, my renegades, please hit that subscribe button, please hit that notification button so you know I'm on doing videos. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.